As humanity seems to be facing increasing challenges to global harmony, I thought this message to be appropriate and timely. The Day of the Golden Rule.
Dear brothers and sisters, greetings of peace, blessings, and best wishes to each and every one of you. I send you these greetings of peace all the way from Ethiopia. Dear brothers and sisters, as we look out on the world today, it is evident that humanity is experiencing a period of great change. We are in a time of transition as the tide of history takes us towards an integrated global society. Our world is coming together, and as such, all nations are our close neighbors, and our well-being increasingly depends on how well we interact and live together with others based on the teaching of the Golden Rule, which says, treat others the way you want to be treated. As you know it, the Golden Rule is a universal principle, and it's a fundamental principle of life and the foundation upon which the basis of universal ethics is found. Its message is simple and yet powerful, and it's the most prevalent and moral principle in human history. It has been affirmed in many religions, traditions, indigenous cultures, and secular philosophies. In this interrelated and globalized world, we need the Golden Rule more than ever, as it is a fundamental human value needed today at the base for coexistence. We need to make it the first article of our faith and the last article of our creed. The Golden Rule is not an option. It's the key to our common survival. Every human life is very precious, and that every human being ought to be able to live his or her life to the fullness of its potential, in harmony and fellowship with other human beings, and in partnership with Mother Earth, which sustains our life. The practice of the Golden Rule will help us to make this happen. Both peace and violence are the products of human mind, and it's from the human mind that a sense of responsibility to think and act in a peaceful manner will develop. And it's for this reason I introduce the Golden Rule Day and the Golden Rule Proclamation, and appealing the Golden Rule Day to be proclaimed by the United Nations and all its members states in order to make the Golden Rule as one practical guiding principle and action for peaceful coexistence and prevention of violence, and to make it as part of peace education in the school system throughout the world. Dear sisters and brothers, each and every one of us needs to practice and exert all our effort to be a peaceful person. We need to acknowledge that peace is only possible in the world when each and every one of us start to make peace within ourselves, families, and in our respective communities. Each of us needs to commit ourselves as best as we can to become a non-violent and make personal pledge for peace. By promoting interfaith cooperation and engaging in interreligious constructive dialogue, we learn to respect one another. We learn to appreciate both our differences, and the common value that bind us together will be honored. We need to recognize pluralism and respect diversity. Pluralism is an obvious fact of life. Mutual understanding is no longer a luxury, but an absolute prerequisite for peace and coexistence in the world. It is with this in mind that the General Assembly of the United Nations passed a resolution on dialogue on interreligious and intercultural understanding and cooperation for peace. That's why the work of Arizona Interfaith Movement, United Religions Initiative, Interfaith Peace Building Initiative, and many other interfaith organizations' work is very relevant to build bridges of peace and understanding among followers of different religions and faith traditions and cultures. The role of family in promoting a culture of peace and the value of the Golden Rule is paramount, as family is a primary building block and the first school where children learn about different things in life. We need to accentuate our effort to strengthen family value. Family is a micro-religion, a micro-school, and a micro-economic system. From our families, it expands to our places of work, worship, other institutions, and government. As parents, we need to re-examine ourselves as what kind of role model we are to our children and the young generation in our daily life and action. We need also to ask ourselves what kind of legacy we are going to pass on to them and what kind of country and world we are going to inherit to them. School also needs to play a major role in unleashing our young generation spirit with good character and peace education. People expect school not only to make children smart and intelligent in terms of academics, but to make them also good, all-rounded, concerned, and visionary citizens in all walks of life who can contribute to the well-being of their own life, family, community, country, and the world. We need to pay due attention to our young generation as they are our only future. Among other institutes which could play important role in peace building and promoting the teaching of the Golden Rule is media. Media professionals must take responsibility for the consequences of the enormous influence they wield. They need to act with due responsibility for their action. Dear sisters and brothers, as we are living together on this planet Earth, no matter which place, situation, or circumstance each of us may find ourselves as individuals, our existence has a special meaning. We need to develop a consciousness that transcends difference among nations in terms of ethnic group, gender, religion, ideology, and races. Differences of ethnicity, religion, color, and place of birth are trivial differences. What is important is that we respect the dignity of human beings and recognize ourselves as one human family members of this universe, planet Earth. When we put great emphasis on what we have in common value, like the teaching of the Golden Rule, which we are celebrating today, and embrace compassion, a spirit of cooperation, respect for all forms of life, goodwill, positive and creative thinking, and apply moral and spiritual value in our daily lives as well as in our deeds based on a positive action, then we can be responsible citizens and we can be a blessing to ourselves, to others, and to nature. Each of us has a role to play throughout our daily life for peace and the Golden Rule to prevail on earth. When we have peace within us, we can be at peace with those around us. If we want to live in a peaceful environment, first we need to plant that seed of peace in our mind and heart and express it in our action and live it on a daily basis. In other words, as Mahatma Gandhi said, I quote, "We should be the change we want to see in the world," end of quote. Dear brothers and sisters, everything that's needed to build a culture of peace and a global society based on the value of a Golden Rule is already existing in each one of us. After all, a culture of peace is a set of values, attitude, modes of behavior, and ways of life that reject violence and prevent conflict by tackling their root cause to solve problems through constructive dialogue and negotiation among individuals, groups, and nations. Therefore, I appeal to each and every one of you to live according to the teaching of the Golden Rule and be a peace builder in our family and communities, and follow the right direction of life, which will lead us from darkness to light, from despair to hope, from hate to love, from war to peace, from killing each other to peaceful coexistence, from revenge to forgiveness, and from negative competition to positive cooperation. May peace, compassion, and the Golden Rule prevail in our mind, heart, family, community, country, and in the world. Once again, thank you so much, and God bless all humanity, all forms of life, and Mother Earth, and God bless all of you. Thank you.